OK, so now you know who's going to be what. What do you think?
Brilliant.
Aye.
You're all happy?
Yeah.
I think it'll work well,
Yeah.
Right, we've done a lot of preparation, a lot of talking. It's time now to see how you perform in action, because it's time for your skirmish. This is a smaller fight before the main battle itself. Now, it may get gruesome. Actually, it probably will get gruesome. But it's very, very useful. It's a chance for you to test your battle skills, to test your chain of command. So use it wisely, learn from it.
A mounted scouting party of yours has got itself caught well away from the main invasion force, and it's been caught by a contingent of the English army on its way to join Harold.
You have got to rejoin the rest of the bastard's army, but along the way, you have an opportunity to probe the English and see how they will fight.
Clear?
Yep.
Experts, thank you very much indeed. And that's the last you'll see of them. The next time you see Mike and Eric, it will all be over. The whole battle, whatever the outcome. So, what are you going to do?
I would see the plan as we can't do a frontal charge. If we've got cavalry, they'll be expecting it, we'll be slaughtered. If we can split the cavalry into two groups, they ain't going to know which way to face. At least one group of cavalry can do a flank attack or a rear attack. I think that should be our plan.
You all happy? Doesn't matter if you're happy or not, because that's it. Your time is up. It's been a lot of talking so far, but it's time now. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get stuck in. Let's see it get going.
Okay. Rachel, Fran, I need to know what troop types you've got and what you control. Kip, if you want to take an overall view, use the big screen to look at the enemy. I want to know what their formation is and their location.
Now, as we peer over the hill crest, we can see that the enemy skirmish forces are all strung out in little groups. They've got the feared men there, the country infantry, and then they've got the professional soldiers of the King's Court, the Huscarls. Now, the team's Norman skirmish force has got infantry, some armed with bows, as well as cavalry. And the Bayeux Tapestry, which illustrates this battle, shows that William's army was very well equipped. They had throwing spears and thrusting spears and swords, and those big wood and leather kite-shaped shields.
So you've both got mounted cavalry,
Yeah.
Rachel on the left and on the right.
Yeah, on the right arm.
I get the impression you're the boss, Jim.
It's a bit like being at work, I guess.
OK, fine, fair enough.
Kip's enjoying watching the screen. He hasn't actually told anybody anything yet.
No, but it looks like they're shaking out such that Andrew is going to give the orders.
Rachel and Fran, can we line up the swordsmen in front of the archers, a long, thin line of archers behind the swordsmen. We've got to protect them from the charge.
The enemy are much more spread out.
Cavalry at either flank.
If they were to act quickly now, they could use their cavalry to advantage and isolate some of these.
That's right.
The Norman army were really very well armoured. They wore a sort of knee-length mail shirt called a hauberk. And mail is an intricately interlinked web of iron rings, each closed with a rivet. It was immaculately tailored to fit, a very painstaking process. These things were expensive, and they were worn over a padded coat called an acqueton. Now, the English Huscarls also wore mail shirts, only they called them byrnies. But their feared men were probably less well armed because these things were so expensive. But by this stage, they'd probably had a few mail coats amongst themselves, because they would have looted them, stripped them from the bodies of the Norse at Stamford Bridge.
Is there enemy in the distance?
So you've both got mounted cavalry, yeah? Rachel on the left and on the right.
Yeah, on the right and left.
And archers, OK. I want a row of archers lined up in the front, facing towards the enemy. I want cavalry on either side of the archers.
All the while they're waiting and chatting, this lot are coming closer and closer together. They're losing an initiative they had.
Are you glad you're not a general now?
Yeah.
So have you sorted out what you've got?
Just about, I think. Hopefully.
These things can be over so quickly, you know.
We've got to get into formation before we start charging. OK, so line of infantry in front, line of archers behind, horsemen either side.
Most importantly, the Normans had brought their horses with them across the Channel. Imagine the logistics of that. And Duke William had two magnificent black war horses, which were gifts from the King of Spain.
We got the infantry.
They're forming a line.
All I say is it looks to me as though the enemy are forming up with speed, and as soon as they form up, it's going to be that much harder.
Right, yeah.
You can see one by one the English thanes bringing up the feared men.
They're getting a shield wall going.
That's right. And once that's a continuous shield wall, it'll have to be
a harsh attack across the middle, sharp attack on flanks.
Mobility of cavalry could have disrupted and frustrated that form-up.
But you see the cavalry are still advancing at the walk.
Not aware of any ticking clock at all.
That's right. It's very leisurely, isn't it?
Yeah, they're just information gathering.
They appear to be massing over on our right. They seem to be moving on our right.
OK. Team, you're taking a long time to get your act together. They're not going to be hanging about waiting for you to make pretty patterns. They're going to get stuck in.
We're nearly in archery range.
OK, right. I want the archers to fire at will.
Archers to fire at will.
Are you still holding back?
We're walking forward. I think we're working on building a formation before we actually
But they're going to build a formation as well, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Just, you know,
OK.
trying to...
OK.
I can't say I'm trying to help.
Right.
Kip's moved up to stand beside Andrew, but he still hasn't found a role for himself.
Yes, well, that's right.
And Andrew's not giving him a role.
You know, he's Deputy Andrew for right now.
Fran?
Yeah.
Your horsemen on the right, they're going to have to be ready to run around the side of their infantry.
Hit them on the right with your infantry, with your horse.
Yeah. Get your horse further out to the side. They're going to have to...
The team is doing the right thing. They've got plenty of cavalry, and if they deploy them out to the flanks, they'll be in a position to get round the English.
Horse out, horse hit from their left.
Rachel, get your horses out further on the
the
left-hand
side.
flank.
They are coming towards you.
OK, I hope the archers are shooting.
Now that unit of the team's cavalry is getting awfully close to those feared men, and oh no, that has got to hurt.
Yeah, but, I mean, they're being very lucky there. They're getting off much more lightly than they deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at that. The English are moving. Oh, look at those big axes coming out. There are English huscarls, and they're charging in to a disorganized group of Norman infantry. The Normans are trying to form. There's half the Norman horse there. The left flanking unit of Norman horse is just charging around the countryside trying to avoid getting pinned down.
Right, bring our cavalry back from the left.
Bring that cavalry back.
Back from the left, hit them from the back.
Charging towards us.
Yeah, bring them back,
Bring
Rach.
them back,
Turn
bring
them
them
around,
back.
hit them again, right through them.
OK, no, pull back.
Rachel, pull back. Take them back again.
Attack him again. Which one the rest of the cavalry left?
Oh, well, the cavalry on the right, I want them coming in.
Hit their archers. Their archers are whacking us. Get our cavalry to hit their archers, which is just back in.
The Normans are giving a good account for themselves. There are a lot of dead English on the field.
And we can see the force of the Norman archery coming in here.
They've done
They're
very
at
well
close
there.
quarters. They're sniping in.
The English are just going to steam
Fran, I
in
want
here.
your
There's going to be
horses
an
storming in from the
enormous
back
fight.
now.
I got a cavalry on my right.
Yeah, bring them in to attack on the flank.
OK, bring them in.
Any...
Their archers, which is just
Those
back.
cavalry are doing very well for you. They really are. The cavalry are a good idea.
Any...
Right, yes, that's it. Good job. Keep hitting them with the cavalry.
Bring him in. Bring him in. Attack, attack, attack.
Fran, we've got a big unit of cavalry right out on your right that's not doing anything. Can we bring them in?
You're hitting each other.
Don't smash.
You're having a crash with your cavalry.
Can we stop the cavalry where they are?
Now, those cavalry are going to be whittled down by the English archers if they just stand there like that.
Yeah, they've got to be used to strike again, to support their foot soldiers. That's the cohesive idea of combined forces. I predict they're going to lose this skirmish. To be fair, from the team's point of view, it doesn't really matter if they lose the skirmish. What matters is what they learn from it.
Guys, I hate to say this, it is over. I'm afraid it all came a bit unravelled. The English won on that occasion. But it was close.
They took more casualties than they needed, I think.
That's right. There are a lot of dead horses. The Normans have got to go all the way back to France for remounts, and that is a problem for them.
Well, what do you think you learnt from it?
Plan more quickly.
Yeah.
Use the heavy stuff. Hit them hard.
You lost a lot of men. There's a lot of shouting.
yeah.
I like that. We do like shouting.